$200, something like that.
This one is better.
I mean, if I search.
All right, so back to Pocket Wizard utility. Okay, so again, we are working on configuration 1. We're not going to play around. This allows you to do all sorts of different issues with this thing, to configure this thing to do all sorts of things. But for the high-speed sync, this is what we're really interested in. You click on this hypersync button. You do have to click on this hypersync only. And then as far as this is what I was saying right here. You see this scale right down here? We could click on manual here and adjust the timing. This is a timing scale, and this is like in thousandths of a second. So this is a trial and error thing. That's the only way you can actually set this. If, on the other hand, you don't want to do that, there are settings right here. There's 10 possible settings. And basically what they do is they are for different timings for slow power packs, which would be Speedotron, up to fast ones, which would be Profoto, Elinchrom, Broncolor, that kind of stuff. These are all different timing things. The only way to figure out which one of these is the best to use is to actually try them, which I did. So I went in and did tests on all of these. And what I found for Speedotron that works the best is to have a full 2400 watt-seconds coming out of that pack, and also a setting here of 9. This is the best timing setting we found. 9 and 10 both worked. But as we started to get up in the really higher shutter speeds, we ended up having a little less variation on the setting of 9 as opposed to setting of 10. So this is a timing setting right here. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. If you change anything in here, then of course you have to hit apply changes and it will show you this. You can save these as profiles if you wanted to be, let's say you had this set up for Speedotron and another set of settings for a Profoto pack or for something else. You could actually save these settings and then just load them, which would make your life easier. In our case, we don't need to change anything on here. We are ready to go. So I'm going to get out of here and go back into Capture One and see how we do. So I'm going to go back to 125th of a second to begin with. At F14. Then you unplug the USB here. So because that's only for the configuration part of this. This screws on to your hot shoe just the exact same way that a Pocket Wizard would. It's got its own hot shoe, so if you're actually using flash on camera in conjunction with this, you can do that. I'm setting it to C1 because C1 is designed to sync with a Pocket Wizard set on channel 3, which is what we've got going. And let's see how we do. So the first thing I'm going to do here, I am not going to get an exposure, and I'll tell you why as soon as as this happens. I'm going to click on this and fire. And you see nothing happen. And the reason nothing happened is this. The very first firing of this guy is syncing up with the Pocket Wizards on the power packs. Once that happens, we should be in sync now, and it should work. And it doesn't, so then you try your test button, and in all likelihood, the batteries on this are dead, which is the truth. So we're going to undo this and change the batteries really quick.
Just another ambient light check, right?
Yeah, a bunch of ambient light checks.
Make sure.
Except when you don't expect it to. And then it does. Then you're not prepared for it to work.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when you're just like testing something out.
The little lights on the back of this work exactly the same way as the Pocket Wizard. You can see I've got green blinking light now telling me I've got a good battery. It was red before telling me I didn't. Again, the same thing should happen here. The first frame should not fire. And the second frame, or not the second, but all of the ones after that should. So the first one is the sync. And the second one isn't. So I'm on channel 1.
Is that on 2?
I'm on.
Oh, are we on 2?
Yeah, I got 3.
Well, there you go.
1 on.
3.
Can you set it to 3, please?
Hey.
The problem with live demo here, folks. What can I tell you? You live and die by it all, right? All right, so I had done the first one when I'd fired it. It synced in. And again, we're back exactly where we actually hope to be in the sky. I'm at 125th. You can see right there. I am at F14. Again, everything here seems to be exactly the way I wanted it to be. Now I'm going to go up now to a 250th of a second, which is where we encountered the first problem that I showed you. And this is going to be really ironic. At a 250th of a second, we still have a slight vignette on the side here. You can see it right on the left-hand side. In my opinion, that's not the worst thing in the world. That's actually correctable. I could actually go in with a curve in Photoshop and correct that. What a lot of people will also say is that if we were, say, shooting this all on white, if it was completely dropout white, that basically John's exposed, although he has been slightly underexposed on this, but nonetheless, he's exposed pretty well. I could lift him out of that and his exposure would be fine. I don't really care what's happening on the edges that I'm not using. Does that make sense? However, check this out. I'm going to go now to the 500th of a second. And now what you see is I'm actually picking up vignetting on this other side, but it's nowhere near as bad, but there's fall off here, right? John is now underexposed. And if I look and zoom in here just a little bit. Again, this is the thing I'm going off here. I'm reading a 214 in here. We can do the same trick that we did before. And the trick that we did before was use our exposure slider. I'm going to crank it up a stop and see what it does right here. That gets me pretty close. I'm going to say a stop and a third is probably going to be better. So what do I do? Do I fix this in software like this? Aperture. Never. Aperture. So I'm going to open up a stop and a half. I'm actually at F13 right now. What's a stop and a half open? I can never remember F13. F13 is 11 and a third to me. Okay, so I need to open a stop and a third. If I open up 1/3 of a stop, that gets me to 11. What's a stop more open?
8.
So if I set this at F8, at a 500th of a second, and look at my reading right here. Boom! Exactly where I want to be. And then this is my fall-off situation.
The faster it goes, the better it gets.
The faster it goes, the better it gets. I lose power. The faster I go, the more power I'm going to lose. But the more even that spacing gets. This is a 500th of a second shooting in the studio with all this old-ass Speedotron equipment that everybody bitches about. This turns that old shitty Speedotron gear into state-of-the-art. You can't believe how good this is. 99.99% of the times I see out-of-focus pictures here in the studio, it's because you guys are trying to handhold. You're shooting 125th of a second with a lens like this, and you're trying to handhold a model who's jumping around. Yeah. It'll never happen. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way and see what happens.
I need to buy one.
I'm going to go all the way up to an 8,000th of a second. Well, I take okay. Let me show you this first. I'm going to go to 1,000th of a second. What we also found in our testing was basically it seemed like the best area that we really got was a 500, 1,000th, or a 2,000th. That range right in there seemed to really be the sweet spot for us. It was a trade-off on power, vignetting, all of those issues. Does that sort of make sense? So it was a good place to be. This is 1,000th of a second right now. I need to see what is going to happen here in terms of fall off. So again, I'm at 1,000th now. I've lost more f-stop here. I've lost more power because my shutter speed. Again, what's happening now, guys, is this is where we're at on our chart up here. I'm now playing in this area right in here. I've eliminated all of this. I started at F16. I'm now at F8. That's 3 stops, right? No, 2 stops, right? I've lost 2 stops. I'm playing in this area right now. This is functioning as a continuous light source now for me. It's a very powerful one, but a continuous one nonetheless. As I start, just like it would be if this was an ambient light situation, as my shutter speed now starts to climb, I have to either have to let in more light or I have to raise my ISO, one or the other, right? I can't add any more light to my power packs, they're already maxed out. So in this case, I'm going to again take a look and see what the numbers are. So up here, I'm at a 230. Again, I'm going to do my exposure trick. I'm going to guess about a half a stop. Yeah, 2/3 of a stop, I'm going to guess, will actually work for me. So again, I'm at F8, opening up 2/3 of a stop. What does that put me at? You can say 5, 6 1/3. That's how I always did it. But it's 6.3. I don't remember the in-between F stops. I don't. I'm 11, 11 1/3, 11 2/3, 16. So, and you guys are welcome to be the same way. You don't need to, I need you to memorize the full F stops, but I don't need you to memorize the guys in the middle. I'm okay with you saying 1/3 of the stop. Matter of fact, it's how everybody else does it. So nobody would say, can you set that camera to 7.1? That seems to me like that. Oh, look at this. Wouldn't you guys love to do that picture? Yeah. Okay, 1,000th of a second. But I think that just synced with my radio again. So let's try one more, make sure we got another one coming in. Just tell me, guys, if I get another one coming in. Okay. I'm showing you guys all my best work. Black man on red. That's what I'm going to call that. If you printed this like gigantic, you could call that art, don't you think? Just kidding. Back to John. I call this art. Okay, I'm at 1,000th of a second now. Again, you can see I'm getting a fall off. I'm at 255 over here, which is white. I'm at 240 over here. Can you put a curve on that in Photoshop and fix that fall off? Easy as pie, right? John now is actually, if I read the white balance on that, there's no way I'm going to read it that far back, is there? That was just wishful thinking. John is now at 242. Again, I would probably pop this open another third. If it gets a little bit tricky in there, we'll see. So another third takes me to 5.6. 5.6 gets me to exactly where I need to be, 2/50th on this guy. So now I'm shooting at 1,000th of a second. And I fucking expect to hear some oohs and ahs on this. Come on, guys, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I just showed you how to shoot 1,000th of a second with a Canon in the studio using strobe, and you guys are like, well, you know what time it is?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for the Holy Grail now. Let's see what an 8,000th does.
So what do you find would be a good shutter speed if just someone's jumping like in studio?
Again, you look for all the trade-offs. I would definitely try to get to a minimum of 1,000th or 2,000th. That would probably stop them.
Okay.
But you can see right on the screen. So this is at an 8,000th of a second right now. I am at 5.6. I'm going to simply crank all the way open. There's no point in even trying to guess on this one. I'm at 2.8 now. And I'm going to zoom in and get a reading. So I'm at 232, so I'm still down probably, if we use our exposure trick. Try another half a stop. Yeah, let's say 2/3 of a stop. However, I'm wide open. What do I do? And what ISO do I change it to? I need 2/3 of a stop. I need 2/3 of a stop. I'm at 100 right now.
Is it like 320 320 or 333 or something.
I need 2/3 of the stop, not 2 1/3 stops.
Oh.
So this was a tricky one. I don't know how you guys did on that. One of the
I
calculations
got all
on
of
there
them
is
wrong, is what I did.
2/3 and 8
So the 166.
Did that throw anybody?
I need to study all of
This
this.
is
I have
how
no
you do
idea.
it. If you're at 100 ISO,
I'm bad.
you need 2/3 of the stop to figure out what it is. What's one full stop?
100. I mean,
200
200.
is one full stop. What are the thirds then in between this?
66.
133 and 166. Yeah, so this is at 166 ISO. I don't know if I can get that exactly on this, but we can try. I can get to 160. Let's see how that goes. .248, boom laka laka. Okay, but I don't want to be here at this. I want to shoot at f8. What can I do to change this?
More
I've
lights?
only got one option left.
More lights?
No, you're already maxed out.
But I mean, like more. Just double them up.
What?
Just double them up. Triple them
Double
up.
them up. I'm at 160 ISO right now. ISO is my only move in this. So one stop is what? Doubling or halving? I need more light. I need my sensor to be more sensitive. Does that mean my ISO goes up or down? Up. What's one stop up? 320. What's two stops up? 3 stops up.
No.
And I'm at 2.8 right now. Yeah, I'm at 2.8, so this will get me to what? This is 2.8 right here. What would I be at 324? What would I be at 640? What would I be at 1280? Did it work? $1250 is going to be probably the closest.
Don't you want to change the aperture?
Oh, thank you. See, that's brilliant, though.
Oh.
And we're back.
All righty then. I am reading. Let me do just a quick color balance here to make sure. 252. I'm just a slight touch hot on that. So I'm going to drop my ISO, although to go to 1,000 probably is going to be too much, but we'll see. Depending on what I'm shooting, would be I'll pick one or the other. .247. All right. Now I want applause. God damn it. Look at this. An 8,000th of a second at f8. You want a hand hold in the studio? This is your ticket. Let's find out how really good it works. John, I want you to wave your hand at me just as fast as you can. Hang on, I'll tell you when.
Yeah, he's should jump.
All right, I'm ready when you are. Really fast, really fast, really fast, really fast.
You are adorable.
Now jump.
Oh, so blurry.
Tack. Handheld, no less. Yeah. So your assignment for next week is to do the assignment that you didn't do for this week about this, and it's basically to go in the studio and do it. Yeah. So you're gonna have. Oh shit. Let's not do this. Let's not do this. We don't have a. I don't think there's a shooting assignment for this week. So I'm gonna wait to the next time you're actually in the studio to add this assignment onto it. Okay. So do not do that until we figure it out collectively. All right. Let's do a quick break, guys. 10 minutes. We got a lot to do today.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So, but more like realistically, like 1,000 ISO in the studio, like is that kind of beyond?
Oh no.
No.
Especially not with these guys. If I was doing a commercial job, I get nervous. I am willing to easily go up to 800 ISO. I start getting a little nervous a little bit beyond that as far as noise goes.
So it's called the Flex TT5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I start getting a little nervous getting up that, but I haven't applied any noise reduction in this at all. And look at this. Do you see any noise in here?
No, it's pretty good. Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really wouldn't worry about, again, yeah, am I going to go up to 64,000 ISO? No. But, and again, the trade-off in this, you know, again, I would just look right at a client and say, well, what do you want? Sharp images or to actually throw a little noise reduction on it? And in either Camera Raw, which has got amazing noise reduction, or the Nik, the free tools in Nik, Define actually
Those
is
have
an
blown me
amazing one.
away.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
right? So this is without hitting any post on this at all, and it's giving me this. Yeah, I mean, if I had no other choice, I'd rather have the sharp images, perfectly stop motion, all that kind of stuff, whatever, and fix it in post.
Cool.
Yeah.
I won't be here next weekend.
Okay.
And then the weekend after that.
Okay.
So,
Just
for
remind
the
me.
Quiz.
Yeah.
Can I still take it?
Yes, yes. We'll just I'll open up the slot for you and you can take it.
Okay, I can take it at the same time. I'll just make sure.
Oh, no, you don't. No. That's just crazy. Don't do it.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure.
So, Arthur,
Yes.
I'm just gonna try to do the outdoor next week again.
I am.
Another shot.
I am. So we're flipping everything. We'll go over it right when you guys get back.
But pretty much we're not going to be shooting anything that's due next week.
No, I don't think. I got to look at it.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
Oh, thanks.
It's a good picture.
Yeah, here's